The latest John channel here over at Subscribe Start Now over at Odyssey. Thanks to you 12 new members over there. That's absolutely the titties. So Will Ferrell welcomes us to Weimar, and I'm sure that nobody has honeypot blackmail videos on him from some island off the coast of Florida. Oh, if you're some bleeding pussy, soy boy, penny sniffing, perverted SJW, please turn off the video. You won't enjoy it, and I don't enjoy reading those passive-aggressive comments that go on for like 10 paragraphs. So the problem with the BLT thing is that they're trying to compel you to tell a lie and join them in their absurdities. And it starts slowly because most people don't stop to think about it. They want to be polite, and we just don't think about every little detail. I mean, it's, the lubricant of society. You just kind of go through with things. Where some of us do stop to think and go, wait a minute, you're asking me to tell a lie? I'm not going to tell a lie. And that's where you start throwing sand in the globalist gears here, where, listen, these people are free to be whoever they want, dresses, whatever they want. And in civilization, they should expect to be free of violence. But that's where it stops. You can't compel other people to utter words that they know are lies, because our freedom means that they can't compel us to lie, where we don't have to take part in this illusion. But the BLT pronoun thing is gaslighting society into a positive act, not refraining from an act. That's why it's dangerous. Because when you tell them that you won't use their pronouns in your worldview, because they're sex-based, and this causes their brains to spin in circles because they know the whole pronoun thing is nonsense, but it's part of the humiliation ritual of a conquered people, in this case, not a foreign army so much as a foreign ideology. They want to force people to accept more and more absurdities, sort of in a slippery slope manner. And here it's useful to have a very literal state of mind and pretend that you don't understand why they want you to lie and just refuse to do it, to the extent, that the platform will allow. Obviously, if you're working somewhere, it's going to be, the rules are on them. But other than that, you just go, oh, I don't understand why you're asking me to this person is a, whatever they are. I'm not going to, why? You just have to be purposely obtuse, sort of thing. So people are not going to awaken suddenly and realize how fake and lame all this stuff was. It's slow. People will just start taking it less seriously over time and know this. I mean, this current stuff is not going to last forever. It's just too absurd. When some 5'4", 96-pound girl tells you her pronouns, you just roll your eyes and slowly say, right. Sort of draw it out so you really feel it's necessary to tell me your pronouns? Oh, that's great. No, really. I had no idea. I couldn't have guessed. Like, oh, no. By all means, that wasn't a complete and total waste of time. What's that? My pronouns? Well, I mean, I'm 6-foot bearded man standing before you. What else would my pronouns possibly be? Just pretend that we're not living in Weimar for 5 minutes. Yikes, my guy, it's the current thing. You have to jump on board every fad. How about we just pretend this fad never happened? So they build this popsicle stick rubber band castle on sand, and then they get outraged that we don't take them seriously. It's like, how could we possibly take you? Obviously, this is a fad. Every few decades, they go through a new fad. Were all those? I mean, this is a particularly malicious fad because people are undergoing elective surgery to do things to their children. I mean, it's like a nightmare world. Honestly, it is worse than Weimar because they're doing the stuff to their kids. So how is history going to look back at this current fad? So you're saying that parents cut off the buds of the branches of their branches so that those buds couldn't go forth and bring new flower into the world because the globalist media and schools convinced them it was cool. Yeah, pretty much. Well, it turns out that moving images on screens can convince people to do almost anything. And Dissident Soap on Twitter pointed out the power of propaganda, that the TV was able to convince people to switch from natural butter to a chemical hodgepodge called margarine. Or in modern day, the TV convinced people to take an experimental treatment, because apparently if you can make people scared, and then offer an insane solution, about half of them will take it, and then because of sunk cost investment, keep taking it. I think that's the Hegelian dialectic. It's the Star Wars prequels, where the Emperor was seizing power by just creating the situation that resulted in the conclusion that he wanted. I mean, we didn't jump on board that fad. Hashtag pure blood gang. I'm sure people learned their lesson, and they won't repeat that psych op in a few years. So, Will Ferrell makes a movie that manages to be both stunning and brave. Nasal gazing Hollywood. Yikes, my guy. This is like the current thing, and if you don't take it seriously, you're like Hugo Boss or like whatever. Be better, friend. Oh, God, there's just the passive aggressive fruitiness of it all. Challenge accepted. So what seems to be happening is people are having difficulty adjusting to this rapid societal decay, kind of the pre-Civil War, World War III years. And some people are accelerating full on into Sodom and Gomorrah, where the correct response is to become more tribal, based, and phobic. We don't have to accept their framing of the narrative, which is a challenge because they control the dissemination of information through all the mainstream platforms. We obviously have the alt stuff, but it's important to ridicule them and say the speech they hate. Their ideas are so ridiculous that they call any criticism of it hate speech, to the point where biological facts are hate speech to them. With the pronoun thing, let's get this. This is peak Joker world. The thing is, it's a biological sex. The language is derived from the hard binary of sex, and it is a hard binary. The language has words that refer to things or concepts. Masculine is for males, etc. Anything outside of that is trying to promote ideas not in accord with reality. And the proof is we have definitions for our words where they have circular definitions or rapidly shifting emotional childlike ones that aren't useful. Because if everyone has a different definition of a word, or they're just using homonyms, I guess, they sound the same but they have different definitions, that means you're not speaking the same language. It's like, hey, Tower of Babel, I guess. And in a circular definition means that you've created a meaningless loop. We have definitions, they refuse to use them. Etymology is there for a reason. All they have are strawman Solinsky ad hominems. Yikes, my guy, like, what do you care? Just let people live. It's just Frankfurt School deflection. These people are so fudging tired. It's like these teeny boppers on a Twitter, like they think they're rediscovering the wheel with, we're jumping on board another fad. It's like the TV didn't brainwash us into believing this nonsense. It's not a fad, Dad. It's a fad. It's a fad. Every decade has their fads. You can just go back through the years, all the way back to the 1920s, and Bernice got her bob. So 20 years ago, Will Ferrell and some dude in a dress would have been done as a comedy, but now we have to pretend to take it seriously. No thanks. And if you refuse to play their game, that's when they threaten violence. If you say words they don't agree with, they turn to violence because they don't have a counter argument. And anything that pops a hole in their worldview, they get very, very threatened by it. And they can't discuss it because they were never taught how to discuss things. Hey, reasonable people can disagree without becoming disagreeable. And they look at you like you're from another planet. Like, we were taught what to think in school, not how to think. Yeah, well, you can reach a different conclusion from your teacher in the classroom, and you can say, oh, yeah, they're all wrong, because in some circumstances, they're all going to be wrong if it's garbage in, garbage out information. So, Will Ferrell and his comedic partner here have to learn how to navigate male spaces as males who are dressed unusually. Okay, this is just, Sodom and Gomorrah type of stuff here. Create a film company called 1930s Films, and you can make parody films about all the current nonsense where things are now beyond parody. So these dudes drive around dressed strangely, and males are trying to navigate male spaces. And even the lexicon is Frankfurt School Therapy upspeak, Los Angeles 1984 soft speak, art house Hollywood speak. With this lexicon and syntax, a bunch of college professors in Birkenstocks and nose piercings sit in an echo chamber and use this nomenclature. Then it goes out to the useful idiot media and college kids, and they all speak like that, and that kind of good think speak. It just means they're sending signals to each other that they're on the same bullshit page. They have a certain amount of, they have a spectrum of ideas that they know are allowable, and they won't go outside that spectrum. Otherwise, it's yikes, my guy, a little passive aggressiveness to get them back on the farm. We have similar language codes to identify, hashtag our guys, but obviously I can't repeat them on the Google Puppet Master tube because they control the narrative. And we have the alt media, which, if you want to join us over on Subscribestar or join the Odyssey memberships, that stuff has turned out to be pretty effective. And I say this because the membership-based concept works, and it shows you how much people want an alternative perspective that they're willing to pay for, and the mainstream won't allow people on it. And and it's like this stuff is, it's like you pushing down the carpet and the wrinkle's just going to pop up somewhere. They're constantly gaslighting us with this nonsense. You have to have platforms where you can call it what it is. It's just absolute, Weimar levels of absurdity. To make a movie like, oh hey, Will Ferrell, you wouldn't be on some island somewhere on like hidden camera, with the amount of Bolivian marching powder and children or something. I'm sure no, it's totally organic. Yeah, totally organic. And like some Santa Rosa mansion, doing some kind of horrific blood drinking Maria Abramovic cult type of stuff. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video.